Hey, Megan. Hey, online. Just want to let you know we'll be starting at 1:05 just to allow everyone to get in, and we'll get going on Canva. All right, we'll be. All right, Those online, we'll be starting here in just a second. We're going to be doing a Canva overview today, so I'm excited. This is my favorite thing we use doing marketing in the office. This is what we use probably 90% of my job, which is awesome. It's super, super user friendly and easy to use. But what's exciting, why this is even a class right now, is KW just partnered with Canva. So you now get 20% off Pro if you want it. right? So you can use Canva for free technically, right? You just don't have access to anything in Canva that has the pro icon, which is the crown. And I'll point that out. You'll see a lot of the templates have that icon. So you can decide during this class if you do want to upgrade to pro based on what you have access to. I'll show you where that link is. Just a heads up, the catch is you do need to use your KW email address for your Canva account in order to get that 20% off discount, okay? So let me tell you a little bit more about that and where you go to get that discount. So if you would like, to just hang on to that 20% off Canva year-long subscription is what it is. So the year-long subscription is like $120 for Pro, and so it'd be 20% off of that. So how you can get that link through that partnership is if you go to kwbresources.com, right? This is our internal website for all things KWB resources. And I'm going to hover over tech resources on the top menu. And let's click on that second option down for the Tech Tuesday. Okay, I just have some notes here from all the live updates from the tech updates from Family Reunion that just went on. So again, that's under Tech Resources Tech Tuesday. Scroll to the very bottom of this page and you'll see the KW Family Reunion updates from this year. And if you click on that, it's nothing exciting, but it is the link to 20% off. All right, so these are just all the updates from Family Reunion. So if you want that Canva discount, all right, that's this top link here. So the things to know about that, if you already have a pro account, right? If you change out your email address in that pro account to the KW email, you should be able to apply this 20% off coupon to that. This is 20% off the year subscription again. So you would have to pay like the year subscription in full, which is again $120. So 20% off of that. It's like $24 off of that. So it's under $100, right? And again, you can make that call during today's class if that's something you want to invest in based on what, because you can use it for free, but based on what the pro templates give you. I'll show you that now. Okay, so again, I'll put this in the chat so you guys can grab this if you're on Zoom. And are you good on where that link is? Awesome, thanks. All right, and so let me show you now how to use Canva, all the awesome features it has, all right? But just keeping in mind, you would want to use your KW email address for the pro account. Okay, so in Canva, so I'm on canva.com and you should have a login. Scott Lorre Marketing now creates this for agents for us. So just to give you kind of a walkthrough of what you're looking at, you can create, it's very drag and drop. You have access to pictures, elements, all things real estate, which of course I'll focus on. But from the home screen here, right, you can see all the different things that you have access to and you can scroll through. It's truly amazing if you haven't taken the time to like see all that you can create with this. It's truly endless. Facebook covers, you can create websites through here, the whole 9 yards. All right, so all your branding can be managed here. Which that being said, so on the left-hand side, just giving you a quick walkthrough, right? This will show you any of your projects and folders that you currently have, any recent projects, any folders that you have, right? You can see on the left-hand side to browse templates. I'm going to show you, of course, all the real estate related specific templates. All right, so you can hold on that. But clicking back to home here, where I really want to start you guys is in the brand. And this is a pro feature, so if you don't have this yet, that's totally fine. But what I love about this brand, so again, from the home page, I clicked on brand, right? And it allows me to easily create a brand kit. So we're going to talk about branding strategy, colors you should pick, right? What should my logo look like? All of that today. All right, and so this might be something that you create after class. I'm going to show you that it exists, and then we'll talk about your brand, okay? So in here, it allows me to find a template I like in Canva and click my brand to apply all the colors instantly. So within seconds, you have branded pieces if you have a brand kit set up. So just a heads up, through the brand kits, and again, this is a pro feature, I could come in here and click Add New on the top right. And let's say I wanted to set up a real estate. This is for my real estate brand, okay? So I have that set up here and I'm going to click create. Okay, what this allows me to do is save all of my colors, my fonts, my logos, my photos that I use for my brand all in one spot so I can keep my brand consistent. The biggest thing you can do when you're focusing on your brand, and we'll talk about that. We're going to look at different fonts and what they mean and colors. All right. The biggest thing that you can be doing is keeping it consistent. So picking a font and a color beforehand, people can easily glance at your brand and see, oh, okay, I recognize that business without having to read the sign, right? So for example, let's talk about what different colors might mean if you are trying to pick your brand colors. All right, so if you do click on add new color here, and of course, this is something you can decide as you go along, right? But a lot of agents will use, red and black because it does correspond with Keller Williams, and the red is, a strength color, a power color. On the flip side, if you really feel drawn to a certain color in your brand, I do strongly suggest picking that, right? There are way less agents that brand with something like purple or green, right? Those bright colors can quickly identify you because it's a little less saturated. If you're going for a more luxury market, of course, like a gold or a silver, right? Some sparkles might be your best bet. And we can go more into that, right? But, right, luxury feel, right? Thinking about what you want your target market to be can really help you pick your brand colors. And again, this is something that we can decide as we go along for the class. But if a certain color speaks to you, lean into it. All right. Don't be intimidated that, oh, well, no one else is using purple. That's even more of a reason to use purple. Okay. And you'll see that it saves your exact brand, like color, the code for it. So you can keep that consistent on every single brand, right? And every single piece that you create. Same concept with the fonts here. When you're thinking about the fonts and what that says about your business, right? We can pick, and this is important to keep it consistent so you don't have fonts all over the place, ideally for your brand. But just a couple things to say on whether you're picking a script, right? A script might reflect a little more of a luxury feel, a little more of elegance, right? Versus if you pick a font that's a little stronger, right? So the two other font types I usually focus on would be a font that has feet. And what I mean with that is like, see how there's like lines on the bottom of each letter, right? Another word for that other than feet. I struggle explaining this. So, right, that gives a more classic feel, right? If you're picking one with feet. So like Times New Roman, like is the classic one, right? With the lines on the bottom, right? That gives a very classic feel versus if you're trying to give a more modern feel, right? That might be a thinner font, right? So I'll talk about, combining fonts together, but just to think about what do you want to reflect in your brand? Do I want to give a modern design? Do I want to give a more traditional, with the feet, with the Times New Roman, or do I want to give an elegance, right? With a script, okay? Those are kind of your three main thought patterns. And of course, those of you online, feel free to jump in with questions or if you have anything to add. Megan, I know you use Canva all the time, so feel free to jump in with suggestions. All right, so scrolling down, you can, of course, add any of these other items too. I'm going to jump into actually creating a brand now that we've talked a little bit about this. So as far as actually creating pieces, let's click on the top left, back to brand. I'm going to go back to home. I'm just going to click back a couple times to get back to my home screen so I can show you how awesome it is to create these pieces in Canva. So first of all, depending on what you want to create, do you want to create a logo? Do you want to create an email signature? Do you want to create cover photos for your social media? Right? You can do all of that here, just depending on what you want to create. If that's social media, you just need to decide on what that is so you can pick the sizing of it first. So step one would be clicking like create design. There's a couple different ways to do this, but let's say if I wanted to create a logo, and you can do whatever you want, whatever would be most helpful. I'm going to do a couple things here, but let's say logo is what I want to do, right? I can search by logo, and you can apply this to anything the next few steps. So if you want to focus on social media in this class, feel free to go ahead and search for a social media design, right? Like Instagram, and I'll show you that too. But in the case that I want to start my logo, right? I can come in here and I can search. This is why I love Canva. Real estate logo. And here are a million different options that you could literally sit here and scroll all day. But it gives me a great idea of, okay, what are these logos saying about the brand, and what do I want in my logo, right? The main things to usually consider are, do I want a key? Like, what kind of icon do you want? Is that a key? Is that a house, right? Like a little roof. Those are obviously very popular. The other big one I see is your initials, right? Get an idea of, okay, what kind of icon would I want? One. Two, what kind of font do I like? Right? So you can see the difference in the different fonts, getting an idea of, do I like script? Is that not really me? Is this a little more me, right? So you can click on any of those icons, and I will note if you don't have Pro, right, you can see the ones that are marked Pro, but the ones that aren't Pro are great as well. And for me, when I was picking my logo, I had to go through and add a bunch of them to try to pick. Okay, so if that's the case, right, all I'm doing is clicking on the logos on the left-hand side, and then I can add another page here. So I can add additional logos, let's say if I can't decide and I want to pull in a couple others to work on. It's another one of my favorites. Now, these are completely customizable, okay? So of course I can come in, and I think this is, oh, this one is a Pro one, sorry. But of course you can pick any of the non-Pro ones if you don't have Pro. But I could come in here and put in JuLeah and Co. That's a real company, actually. All right, so I could put in the website name, or I mean my branding name, my DBA name, right? I can change any of this up here, right? Maybe I want to say North Carolina and South Carolina. Real estate, right? Or whatever I'd like it to say, realtor. So I do it again on here. Do you remember what the shortcut was for PCs to do the realtor R? It's something like Alt. Yeah, well, let's look it up. It is. I do have the number pad. I just don't remember the numbers, of course. Realtor R shortcut. What kind of computer do you have? Do you have a what's called keypad or a number pad? Okay, cool. So you'll be able to do the Realtor R shortcut on if you have a number pad on the side or if you have a Mac for PC. Let me just remember what that shortcut is. Jules, will you look it up? Thanks. All right, so I'll let you know what that is. For if you have a Mac, the Realtor R is super easy. It's just Option on the bottom of your keyboard in R. There's an emoji for it too, by the way, a Realtor R, like under the symbols. It doesn't come up when I search it per se, like if I search Realtor, but if you're in emojis like on your phone, it's under the icon. I think you guys can see me online. I'll come show you. I don't know if you can see that on the bottom. The Realtor R is in emojis, and you can see it under the second to last grouping in your emojis. Control Alt R. Thanks. Okay. Me neither, but that's great. So it's under this one in the R. So it is required anytime you write the word realtor, you have to put that R, and it has to be in all caps, like you're screaming that you're a realtor. So it's required because it's a trademarked word for them. What do you say it was, Jules? Well, okay. That didn't work. Yeah, that worked. Thank you. So you have a number pad, right? So then hold Alt, and then on the number pad specifically, 0174, then release Alt, and it should give you the R. Like, what do you even use? I know, right? Yeah, what are all the other numbers? If that's 1074, are there 1,000 others to get there? And if anyone online needs more clear instruction on how to get the Realtor R, just did it do it? How cool do you feel though? I know. Yes. Alt 0174. I know, right? I didn't remember it, so. Yeah, so that's only on a number pad. So, and of course you can always just like copy and paste it from online, the Realtor R, right? But so now let's say, all right, I like this logo, I'm feeling it. I think this house needs to be that purple I was gonna lean into, right? So in that case, of course, I can click on any piece of this design and we can go on the left-hand side and actually change the color of it. Oh, no, I lied, sorry. We can click on it and then go up to the top here and change the color of it. So whereas it's black right now, right? If I have that set up in my brand kit, right, I can see my brand kit is right here. Okay, so I don't have to go try to figure out what color purple that was, right? I can just come in here, and you should only have like one brand kit. I don't think I saved that one. Oh, I did. Look at me. I can click on that brand kit that we created, and it will give me that exact purple color. So no matter what design I'm on, I can very easily grab that color to keep my design consistent. Same concept with the fonts, right? Like if I want to make sure this font is the same as all of my other fonts in my brand, I would click on the font, and then up where the fonts are here, it's under text style. So up here where it says text styles, that's where you'll see the brand kit right here. So if I had any font selected, I could select it from there, or I could even add this one. So if you can do it in reverse too. So if I really like this font, let's say, and I want to save it to my brand kit, I can click add your brand fonts to brand kit to go ahead and save that right away. So I can go ahead and type that in, or I think if I click on, see if I click on edit, if it'll allow me to just save it right here. Now, it looks like you will need to know what that name is, which is no biggie, right? It's just at the top here. So you can go in and put in what that font is, which in this case is something like Nodo. All right, so you can put in whatever that font you want to default on as the title, the size, the style, and click to save it. So now every design I'm on, I can keep my fonts easily consistent, and I don't have to, what I think is so valuable about that is I don't have to pick the font anymore, right? That takes me just so long, right? So if you have to do that for each and every design, I mean, you're wasting just hours, right? So I do recommend trying to decide on your fonts beforehand to cut down your time. And please, anyone, feel free to jump in with questions. That's the basics of creating a logo. Okay, I do want to show you how to also create social media posts and email signatures. So depending on what you're needing, you can jump around to. I'm also going to show you how you can create reels in here, which I love. But to get back home, I'm going to go ahead and click on the home icon on the top left. And I'll show you how you get back to your designs to keep editing your logo. Okay, and then how you can download it and easily send your logo to, let's say, Scott Laurie Marketing for them to update it on all sites. Okay, so those logos you'll be able to see, or sorry, any of your recent designs you'll be able to see right from the home page. So you'll see right from here your most recent designs. You can also see that under projects. When you're searching, you can search by the name. Notice that it's searching templates by default, so you just need to change it to projects if you're looking for an existing project. All right. So if I want to, let's say, export anything from here, all right, all I need to do is click on the project I was working on, and there is value to, of course, renaming your designs so you know how to act, so you can actually search for them again. I am not the best at remembering that, right? So renaming your file up here to put in something like the word logo would be a good keyword so you can easily find that again. Crazy concept. Okay, now these next couple tips are, even if you know how to download from Canva, this will be a really good tip for you to know. Now, when you are downloading from Canva, on the top right, you'll see an option to share. All right, so when we click on share on the top right, we can click on the download option. So that download option will then give me the option for how I'd like to download that. So if I want it to be a JPEG or a PNG. Now for logos, we usually recommend PNG because that just gives it a more, it's a higher quality PNG usually. If you are posting it on social media, like if this is a social post or a photo or a graphic you're putting in an email, we always recommend JPEG. That loads the quickest on social. All right, so JPEG is usually our default. But for things like logos and email signatures, we do PNG. Usually do size 2, Jules, PNG for logo. That's for email signature. Yeah, and you guys can play around with the sizing right here, right? It defaults, so you can leave it on the default, but if you find that it's not quite big enough, you can always come in and just up the size, let's say to a little more, and re-download it just so you guys know. Oh, great. Great suggestion. Yeah, so for Joel's gave a great suggestion. Like if you're just putting your logo on your website, the one would be totally fine. If you're trying to send your logo off for a sign or to be printed on your car, right, might want to up that quality a little bit. So depending on how big we're trying to print it or where we put it, but by default, a 1 is typically fine. I do like the option that Pro has to export with a transparent background. That is a feature you can do to edit photos in here as well, but if you didn't want a background, like a white background on it, that's a great feature to do. And then you can pick which pages. So let's say I just want page 2. Okay, this is the part where I would recommend listening, even if you know how to download easily from here. So when you do download this logo, what's important, the part that people usually skip when they're downloading things from Canva is they just let it download either, how it is, right? They don't really change the name of it, right? It's whatever basic template name they started with. The reason it's important to look at what your files are saving as is, if you Google image anything, well, guess how those Google images get there is whatever you name the photos or the graphics that you're putting on your social media or on websites, right? So when you just save it with any like random name with like a bunch of numbers and letters, it does nothing for search engines. If you want to easily work on your search engine optimization, especially in Google Images, just make sure you're renaming it something to the extent that has good keywords. Where's rename? Thanks, there it is. So naming it something like your first and last name, real estate, right? And of course, you can put in logo. That's great for you and great for search engines, right? But putting in keywords like that, what do you want this photo to come up for on Google, right? What keywords? Put some of those in there. So it is really important to name it when you are saving it to your computer. Of course, if you name it in Canva, it will, download with that name. But just a heads up, that is important to pay attention to. Any questions on logo before I continue to email signature, social posts? Okay, feel free to jump in. Uh-huh. Exactly, exactly. Just thinking of like keywords, what people would search. And then that leads me to, okay, what? What's that next step? So once you have that logo down, you can send it to Scott Leroy Marketing. It's just support@scottleroymarketing.com. Have you seen an email from Scott Leroy Marketing? So they do a bunch of free stuff like add in your logo anywhere, right? So if you just, once you're done with your logo, and just a heads up, if you start your logo today and then want to make a meeting with us as well to, we can help you like brainstorm what other changes we want to make, etc. We're happy to do that. And I'll show you how to make an appointment with us, but it's on KWB resources. But all you'd want to do is send that logo to support@scottleroymarketing.com and they'll upload it on all the spots for you. Now, let's say now that we have our logo, I want that to be on my email signature, right? An email signature is one of the most important places to start with your brand. And if you already have an email signature, the best thing you can be working on is making sure your Facebook and LinkedIn cover photos match that email signature, okay? And you can like do a magic resize in Canva that I'll show you. But in the case that we want to now create an email signature, I'll click on the home option, right? I'm just on the home screen of Canva. And I can do this in different ways, right? But I can click create design on the top right and type in email signature. And it just gives me the exact sizing. Jules, have you found that like a Facebook and LinkedIn cover photo, they're different sizes? Very annoying. Okay, that's all. So I'll show you guys how you can resize it, but if you do have an email signature, feel free to bring it up, or if you're creating it from scratch, right? What we're going to do is from the email signature section, right? This is the email signature size. Now I'm in the designs tab right here, and I can search real estate email signature. If I want it to be luxury, I can include the word luxury in there, right? If you want it to look professional or fun, right? You can include those words in there, those keywords, okay? So you can really tailor down what you're getting here. That might be done in styles too. Let's see. Right, so you can start scrolling, and again, you could scroll forever to get an idea of what email signature you would like, okay? So you can scroll down and select any of them, and of course, I would recommend just clicking one for today's class to practice on. Okay, but let's say now I want to add my logo to this design, right? I want to customize this to me. First of all, right, I can just simply click to change out all the contact information. But I love it's already set up with these cute little logos. I don't have to go get all of that, right? So let's do just the basics, changing out our photo and adding out, for compliance, we need to add the KWB logo, and also we'll add our logo. All right, so first of all, to change out your headshot, on the left-hand side, you can add your headshot under your brand kit, or there is an uploads option. So uploads on the left-hand side. And I could go ahead and upload, let's say, my headshot. Okay, or if you have your headshot in there already, of course, you can grab that. Okay, so you can add your headshot. Sorry, I did that a little quick. I simply click to drag. And you can see once I click and hold my mouse and drag it over that circle, it'll replace the photo, and I can release my mouse. Now, if it's wonky, like if your head is up in the circle, you can double click on that photo to either drag it around or even resize it. So if I want just my head a little more, I can resize it. And center it. Please hop in if you have questions. I do this a bunch, so it might be quick. Okay, so now let's focus on adding in our logo and the compliance logos as well. So I'm not sure if you guys have logos on the left-hand side. I'm thinking not. I'm thinking these are just my most used apps. So in that case, right, in the brand, like as I've been mentioning, right, of course, this is where you can go to add in your headshot. Like I would recommend, see, I have like their headshots in for their photos here, and this is in the brand. Again, the brand is a pro feature, so if you just want to watch, that's fine, right? I have the colors. So what I mean by how great the colors are to easily apply my brand, all I have to do is click this, and it changes out my branding colors on the piece with a click, right? And I can click to keep trying different ones to see what I like, right? But it switches it out so that I can easily, with any piece in Canva, apply my brand. Okay, so the next steps that I want to do is add my logos, okay? For compliance, guys, so that is the only downfall of Canva. It does not know compliance for our area, of course. So you will want to add in the KW Valentine logo, right? So if you do not have the KW Valentine logo on your computer saved, that would be a great thing for you to get. I'm going to show you how to get all the different kinds of logos, like see-through, the all white one, the colorful one, colorful as in like white and red. So if you want to go to my KW, so this is really the only time you go into mykw.kw.com, but you can download all of the logos from here. If you're wondering what the heck mykw.kw.com is, this is the old KW site that they moved away from for command. So you don't really go in here too much. You don't really need to remember much of what I'm saying here because we're going to download it one time and then you just need to remember where you download those logos to. Okay, so I'm downloading all the KW Valentine logos so you can always be in compliance. We're going to add them all to Canva. Okay, so from mykw.kw.com, let's hover over nope, sorry. Let's click on marketing on the top black toolbar. So, oh, it was risky. Did that happen to anyone else? No. Okay, well, it's not risky, but Risky business. All right. So anyway, what I did is I went to mykw.kw.com and I clicked on marketing on the top black toolbar. And then logos and branding right here. All right, logos and branding. Scroll down. You do need to scroll down about halfway down the page to find the search bar. Okay, and you need to put in our market center number, which is 350. And then you'll see Valentine area pop up to click download. And please stop me if I lost anyone. I'm happy to do these steps again. Okay, so I'm downloading it, and it will download it as a zip file to your computer because it's downloading all the logos, like all the logos KW Valentine has. So once it downloads to your computer, if you double click on the file, it should unzip it for you. And these are like the subfolders within it that you can find all of the logos. So now, for example, I have, and we'll put this in your Canva account too, like that one and the see-through one, right? So they're all the different types, see-through and white. And I like to have them all in there in the case that my design one works better than the other. So let's go back to Canva, wherever you were working on your email signature, let's say. And if you would like to go ahead and add those logos to your brand, if you have Pro, you can do that. Or of course, you can just click uploads. And we can add those logos in. So I'll go ahead and click edit here, and I will add the logos. So all right, so you can upload those in there. I already have them in here, but right, we're adding those to your account. So that you can quickly add them in quicker than this in the future. So I can click and it will add that logo in. I can resize it and move it where it needs to be. By the way, if you're trying to, in case this helps anyone, if you're trying to layer images like this, right, I want this KW logo to be over this photo. What it thinks it's doing is that I want to replace the photo. So in that case, if it happens, if you just click Control on your keyboard or Command, if you're a Mac user, it'll stop that so that you can actually layer it on top, just in case that's helpful. Okay. Now, if I want to also add my logo, right? I saved my logo, right? So I can go ahead and upload my logo in here as well, that logo that I just created. I can add that to uploads to pull my logo in. Now, I don't want that black or that background in this case, right? So I can make photos transparent in a click of a button. If I click on the photo, you'll see it's purple on the outside or blue, so it's selected. I can then click Edit Photo on the top left. And this is a pro feature, but I can quickly remove the background. So the background remover. So I can set this logo up, let's say, at the top. Questions on that? No? That's very shocking, Jules. Thank you for shaking your head. Did that make sense? Cool. Okay. Great. So that's how you can create the email signature, right? There is one more thing you need to know for compliance, right? I did mention that Canva does not know what you need to be in compliance. So that being said, of course, you can send any of your designs. I would recommend to Tasha or Sabra, but where you find the compliance measures, compliance rules, is KWB resources, like most other things. So show you where the advertising guidelines are to make sure you don't go to real estate jail. Just kidding. It's not a thing, I don't think. You go to kwbresources.com. And then under office resources, so hover over office resources, we have advertising guidelines. Okay, the password to get into this is same as the Wi-Fi password without the exclamation mark. So it's just capital B, lowercase AMC 350. No exclamation mark. And this will take you to what your wonderful broker in charge is. Put out the advertising guidelines here. So I can click here to see that where it says guidelines. This is important because you can come in here and first of all, I do recommend reading this over, right? Especially at the top, right? Essentially what you need to know is anywhere you're putting your name or your brand, right? If you're branding with, let's say, Leah & Co., right? I would need it to be Leah & Co. with Keller Williams Realty, right? So you can't brand yourself as like a brokerage on itself. You need to always have with Keller Williams Realty associated. So like, for example, the team name, for example, Brian Casper, Casper Realty Group at Keller Williams Realty, or Brian Casper, Keller Williams Realty. You do not have to put Valentine area in that name, just a heads up. So you can keep it a little shorter at least. The disclosures that you need. So you can see by, what type of print, if you're doing a business cards or if you are doing a website or social media. In this case, we're doing an email signature, right? So you can, kind of scroll to find what piece you're making to see the compliance rules for that specifically. So it gets a little less overwhelming in that case. So for this, for example, email signature, it has to say your name and then it has to have Keller Williams Realty. You must include the KW logo. So we got that. This is the other big player though. We need to include this disclosure that each office is independently owned and operated, okay? The main two disclosures that we put on everything are right here. This goes on all print material, okay? That's one of them. Each office is independently owned and operated. The other one is if this property is currently listed with another brokerage firm, this is not meant to be a solicitation. All right, so I can go ahead and take the top one because that's all I need for the email signature. I can copy it and go to Canva. Okay. Now to add in a text box, because I'm going to add in a new text box for this little silly disclosure. I mean, it's not silly, Sabra. Don't get me. I'm sorry. It's great. So you can actually just press T on your keyboard and it will add a text box. So just pressing T will add a text box. And then you can paste in that disclosure. So if I just did Control V, but of course you can right click and paste it. Okay. Now I'm going to make this as small as I can and put it under the logo. So what I usually do is I click on the verbiage and you can either make it smaller by clicking like the minus sign up here, or if you go in the corner of the text box, you can see you can like pull it, size it down. Okay, super little. So I'm just gonna sneak it right here, right? This does not need to be big. The KW logo needs to be legible, but there's no size requirement I've seen for that. So you can see how small I put it, and that's generally where I put it. So it's not too much of an eyesore. Okay, so now as far as adding this email signature to your account, right? Once you're happy with it, same concept as the logo, right? I would go to share, PNG too, Jules. Yeah. All right, for email signature, if you want to jot this down, we usually do a PNG size 2 so that it's not too big, it's not blurry. We've played around with that size quite a bit, not 21. Oh, that's good. Okay, good. And so if you download it as a 2 here in a PNG, okay, and you can click on download, that'll download it to your computer. Will Scholarly, do you remember, will Scholarly Marketing upload the email signature? I think so. That's true. So yeah, and once you download it to your email, let's see if I'm just my email. You can add it to your email. We can help you do that too. Okay, so if you have that and you need help adding it to your email, you can do so from gmail.com. Or of course, if you want to make an appointment with us at I Need Tech Help on the top right, we can help you add that in. But you would go to gmail.com directly to add that to your KW email. Now, with that being said, right, remember how I said it's important that your branding be consistent across all platforms. Main places here being email signature and social covers, okay? So what's cool about Canva, and again, this is a pro feature, but you can just manually resize it, of course. But what I can do is I can come up to resize and magic switch. So again, before I do this, right, I told you I'm not great at remembering to rename it. And you can see it defaults as the template name, Avery Davis. Okay, that's not helpful on search engines or on my computer, right? So renaming this, you know, my name, yeah, email signature. Okay. And now to convert this into a like LinkedIn banner or a Facebook banner, I can click resize and magic switch. Okay, and so I can come in here and I can pick to resize that. I usually come down here to resize, you know, you can select how you're resizing that. You know, if it's like a Facebook post, if you want to resize it, see if it's under here, Facebook cover. In this case, I'm going to search Facebook cover. I'll click on that. So I'll click on whatever sizing I want and I'll click continue. And I'll click copy and resize because I want the email signature to stay, but I want a copy in the size of a Facebook cover. So as you can see, there is a desktop app for Canva. You can use one online or the desktop one. So it did the resizing. You can see it's a little wider. So you can play around with if you need to move anything around. You'll see when you upload the cover photo to Facebook, things might need to be pulled up a little closer for it to actually display. Right, but you can just move things around, but in general, you got the sizing. And I could do that again for a LinkedIn cover photo. Right, so it does make your life a little easier with that new feature. Questions? Okay, cool. Just to show you last couple things, of course, you can create property posts in here, but you can also create things like a property reel, right? So reels are really powerful to make. I'm going to go back home to show you guys this, right? If you convert it into a reel, it has the potential, the social post, to get in front of more than just your friends. So if you post a picture on your social media, that'll go in front of your friends. If you post a video, it has the potential to go in front of, you know, unlimited amount of people because Reels are competing with TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So they're trying to push content, right? So it's a free way to get in front of unmets, which is unparalleled. There's no other free way really to get in front of unmets like this. All right, so it is very powerful to create reels. And same concept, if you click create a design on the top right and click and type in reels or Instagram reel. So this time I'm doing an Instagram reel. So you can do videos in here. And I love this. Right, this makes video editing very easily. All right, so what I can do is come in here, and again, with the designs, same concept we've been using. So if you want a, let's say it's a home for sale, or you have an open house this weekend, right? Open house. Okay, I can, of course, search anything. You could search home buying process, right? Staging your home, play with the keywords, right? These are all different videos that you can add, right? So now to show you like what this one is. Sorry. Adeline. Adeline Properties. my daughter's name. And it's spelled like that too. So you can add in just by that one click. Of course, all I would need to do is change out the video. So if you have a video for the property, or if you just even want to put in a photo, right? Like this one has more just like photos. So this is a reel. I like this one, right? This is what this one looks like. Right, very simple. You can add on to this, right? You could add another slide to feature, let's say, one room at a time, right? So if you wanted to add on slides, right, I could click this plus sign right here to add a new page, to add in more pictures or words or information about it, right? So that's one option, right? But how I would edit this video, same concept, right? I would just upload the photos of the home and drag and drop to bring it over. Right? So let's say I wanted to do an update of all the homes I got under contract last month, or that all the open houses coming up, right? I could go ahead and put in, and you can get these photos, of course, like if it's your listing, you can grab those from the MLS, and you can change out the information here, and of course, just quickly, easily click to apply your brand. So that's how you can easily create a reel in here. For a property post, but of course, there are other options. I just want to show you, if you don't have a property, first of all, doing open houses is a great reason to post properties. However, I could do, let's say, home buying process. Okay. Okay, so let's say, and you can see if I hover over it, it gives me an idea of, what the video looks like. And a lot of the templates are very simplistic, but it gets you started on what you need, right? So you can add reels. Of course, it's all customizable. Are you looking for a house to rent? Apply all pages. All right, this is this video. So you can see what multiple slides does, right? Applying our brand's pretty easy. So you get, no, please. Good question. So as long as so the question for those of you online, do you have to put the KW logo on like these social posts? To be safe, it doesn't hurt. However, you do have to if it's for a listing. So that is one thing. No matter what the social post, yes, you have to logo for listing. Otherwise, as long as your social media name is like your name with Keller Williams Realty, right? Then no, you don't have to for non-listing posts. You don't have to have the KW logo on there. So that's kind of the rule of thumb, as long as the name of your business page is with Keller Williams Realty or of Keller Williams Realty. Good question. Any other questions I can answer on Reels? Do you feel comfortable in that? So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and I mean, I know I haven't hopped over to the social media post, but same concept, right? You can search. There are just endless social media posts for real estate. So if I search, let's say, I'll show you in here, like real estate, social media, right? You can search their templates here, just a slightly different way to do it. So you can search real estate social media. And I mean, it's just a lot of really great, you don't even need to have a house for sale, right? What's the ROI of these home renovations? Kitchen, basement, curb appeal, right? Boom. It's already done for you. You change out 2 things, okay? And then you can schedule this out in command. How do you save a reel to your computer so it shares on social media as a reel? I haven't done this before. Good question. Okay, let me go back to it. Okay, so the question was, how do I export the reel? And we would recommend when you share it to download it just as an MP4. So you'll download it as an MP4. Just make sure all the pages are selected if you do have multiple pages. With that being said, Megan, just like a cool tip as well, like if you have, let's say, an existing social media post that is not a reel, right? You can turn it into a reel in like one click of a button. So in the case, I know this isn't maybe the right sizing, right? Any social post you can turn into a video essentially by just animating it. So let me show you what I mean. And so if you do have any existing content that you want to turn into a video, all you have to do that is you come up to animate. So on any post, if you click to animate it on the top, right, you can do a page animation and it will animate the entire page, right? So you can do it by like piece that has different kinds of like styles. Like I love that. That was a good one. That was fun. Okay, literally. So what I would do here, if I have any content, yes, this is not the shape of a reel. You're definitely right there. But if I come up to share on the top right now, I could download this as an MP4 video as well. And I could use this as a video. And the power of doing that is it goes from it being a picture just getting in front of your friends to it being a video, it can get in front of unlimited people. Oh yeah. No, Jules, you can't schedule reels from command. Huh? No. Let's go find out. Great question. Yeah, my voice had to be that high for that. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Okay, we're gonna go find out. So the question was, can we schedule those reels? I love your questions, Megan. Keep them coming. All right, so I'm gonna go into command. This is great for everyone to see because that next step of after I get some of my content down, right? I can go into command. So I'm at agent.kw.com. Sorry, multitasking. So agent.kw.com, right? This is command. So that next step after we create that content in Canva, yeah, of course, you can go directly to your social media to post it out. Absolutely. But for me, it takes so much time to do the social media. If I can time block to schedule this out in advance, my social media is way more consistent. Sorry, here I go, here I go. All right, so from command, agent.kw.com, on the left-hand side, we're clicking the campaigns icon. So I'm gonna show you how you can schedule this out to Instagram and Facebook in advance. So for example, if I wanted to create, let's say, home maintenance tips for March, April, May, and then schedule it in advance for the first of each month for the whole year, I can do that. So campaigns on the left-hand side, okay? What I can do is click on create campaign on the top right. So the action button in command is always on the top right once you click on any of these on the menu. So create, and then we're doing a social post. Okay, and you would have to have a business page, a Facebook business page. So I'll help you link this up if it's not already. But let me see first real quick if we can schedule a reel. So this is showing me the Facebook account it's going to post on. I could select Instagram. If it's linked to command, I'll show you how to link it. If not, I can write the content that I usually have Chat GPT do that thinking. And then I can add the media. So add media right here. I find it a very small icon, so just be on the lookout. That's how you add pictures or videos. Yeah, videos. 40 megabytes. Yeah, that's a good question. So Joel said it can only be 40 megabytes as far as the video size itself. You can't, I don't honestly know like how long that video would be. 40 meg, I mean, 40 megs is pretty big, but videos sometimes, yeah, my videos are like 120 megabytes, but that might be like 2 minutes. Anyway, yeah, so we might need to play with that because it is a 40 megabyte limit, but I would imagine like if you animated a piece in Canva, that would be fine. So anyway, yeah, and I can play with that, Megan. If you have any trouble, let me know. We can play with it together. But that's how you would add, let's say, either a photo or the reel that we created. Right? I could put something in here like, check out my cool new logo for my business. Let me know if you know of anyone buying or selling with some hashtags. And again, Chat GPT usually thinks of this for me. And I can schedule, I can either post it out now or schedule it in advance. The one thing I do really like about posting it through command, so if you do decide that you're going to do that, it does keep you in compliance. So remember how we had to go find that DBA logo, the KW logo, and that little statement, right? Each office is independently owned. If you are scheduling it out or posting it out through command, you don't have to worry about that in Canva because it adds the compliance for you here. So you only need to worry about that in Canva if you're directly going to post it on your socials. Okay, because if not, command keeps you in compliance. And I think that's worth posting it through here just in itself, honestly. All right, and then on the bottom here, we have the option to either publish it immediately or schedule it for next week or whenever I'd like to do that, right? You can pick the time and date and click schedule. Questions on that? I know that was pretty fast. Is your Facebook connected? Do you have a Facebook business page? Okay, great. So if your Facebook is not connected, we can help you with this. But if you do not have Facebook or Instagram, right, you can connect either. Click on your name on the top right, and then settings from that drop down. So your name on the top right, settings. Yours is probably in a different order than mine because that has your connected apps at the top. You're going to want to scroll down and find the one that says Facebook post scheduling. It's probably under social. So if you want to connect Facebook and Instagram, you can. You just click connect account. It does require a Facebook business account and your Instagram account to be a business account. If you have questions about that, let me know. Like Facebook has a separate business account. Do you have Instagram too? Okay, so Instagram, you convert your existing page to a business account in order for it to post on here. And we can help you with that if needed. But that is required if you want to schedule posts in advance. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. It will only ever schedule on your business pages, just a heads up. And so then we recommend, like for Facebook specifically, share it to your personal page. And I can show you more on that. But essentially, Facebook is set up for friends. So you'll always get more engagement on your personal side. But with the power of Facebook, it brings you up on the top of Google. So we do recommend the business page and then sharing things to your personal page to drive traffic. And then there's like an 80-20 rule on your personal pages or even on Instagram that people, they're not following you for your business. So when agents start posting only real estate, they get unfollowed pretty quickly, right? People just lose interest. They think anytime you're reaching out to them, it's for a sale, right? So instead, if you approach an 80-20 rule, that's 80% personal, 20% about your business. So if you take the time to, time block and create some of this in Canva and schedule it in advance, right? You take care of your 20% and then you can just focus on your day-to-day. If it's like you're at an open house, that kind of combines your business and your personal, but they just don't want to see like buyer tips all day, every day, right? So just to give you an idea. And of course we can meet. So I know we're wrapping up here. So if you guys want to meet at all to, brainstorm your social media game plan, time block to do this together, just go on KWB resources. I need tech help. It's free for you guys to meet with us for up to once a week. So we can help implement this in your business for you. Of course, we do have an option that we can do your social media. So if you guys want leverage in your social media, just let us know. We can help you with that too. And I'm sticking around for questions. So if anyone has questions or Facebook issues, hit me up. Anyone online, let me know if I can answer any questions. Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you. Thank you. The crowd goes wild. Yeah. So yeah, if you need us to do your social media for you, so we do have a package where it would post real estate related content on your business, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn once a week for the entire year for $199. Is that right? Okay, she's our CFO. And then if you want twice a week, we do have that for $350. But that once a week takes care of letting your sphere know that it takes care of that 20% I was talking about. So you can focus on, posting about your life. And the real things that you guys should be doing on social media is interacting with people, like liking their posts, commenting, congratulating, like DMing them. The posts take the most amount of time. And that keeps your sphere informed that you're in real estate and shows that you're knowledgeable. It does a lot for you, but it's more powerful that you're interacting with the people. So I do always recommend, whenever you get to the place of your business that you can leverage that, do so, because it's a whole thing in itself. And then it'll do once a week for you. So, and in the meantime, of course, our business model is either we can do it for you or we can meet and teach you how to do it for free. So we're happy to do either. Nice. Great. Good. So we can dive into all of that. Yeah. And all the different options. And yeah, because like market stats are another big one that agents will post on social media, and we can do that for you as well. So depending on what you're looking for, we can help out. All right. Well, great. Oh, probably. Let me see what the question is online real quick and I'll sign it. You're welcome. Bye, guys. Have a good one. I'm gonna stop the share, but email me if you have any questions. I'm putting my email in the chat here. contact@juliadesigns.com. Just let me know if there's anything I said that you have more questions on, or just meet with us. Designs.com. And we're happy to help. Have a great Thursday.